What's up, guys? I just wanted to kind of go over like my channel goals in this video and also what I picked up in the month of December. Just to kind of go over like what I'm thinking, kind of like my how I would like to collect, I guess. So I'll go over my channel goals first, and then we can get into what I picked up this month. So the first goal I want to talk about is pretty straightforward, right? The goal is to grow my channel. I don't really have a set number, but 1,000 subscribers would be awesome, and I think it's achievable in a year. So if I get there, cool. If not, I've had so much fun, kind of just like making videos, even though they're horrible, right? I'm not gonna admit that they're like good, but I've had a lot of fun doing them and just like sharing that experience with friends that I've talked to, and like them giving their opinion and me bouncing ideas off of them and kind of seeing what they think. It's just been a really fun experience so far, and I'm looking forward to doing more of that. The second goal is I've spent a lot of money on this card game. I'm not gonna like sugarcoat it. Um, but I kind of FOMO'd a little bit when I first started. I started back in, I think it was 2023, around set 4, like Kingdoms of Intrigue. And I've tracked almost every single item that I've bought, and I have it in like a spreadsheet and in my notes. Um and I've spent around $22,000. And I want to be super transparent with that because I think it's I think it's important to share that story, just to be like, FOMOing isn't, it's not good, right? You regret it a lot of the time. And this is a really bad example because it worked out, right? Like the game is super popular. My Most of my collection has gone up, but the flip side of that is like, what if it didn't? What if it dropped by 50%? Because like this this stuff right here has no value outside of the art, the collectability, and the like playing the card game, right? So it doesn't take much for like pieces of shiny cardboard to go down. And that was a really scary thought for me, and still is. So the second goal that I have is to play this game and collect the card game with none of my own money. Meaning I'll probably end up selling a lot of my collection to play the game for, not for free, but with money that I didn't initially put into the game. Will that happen this year? I don't know, but it would be a really good feeling because it's definitely weighed on my mind since I've started collecting. Because this is my first card game, right? Like, yeah, I collected Pokemon when I was a kid, but it wasn't it wasn't a lot of money. I wasn't an adult. Like, I didn't have disposable income. And I really went headfirst into this hobby. And I just wanted to kind of share that story and experience, because you don't have to collect every set or every card, right? And it's impossible. There's just so much out there. You'll never own anything, and there will always be someone with a bigger collection. So it's like, who are you really competing with? So that's just kind of one thing I wanted to share. And then the last goal that I have is it's kind of more of a personal goal, but, and I think everyone has this goal when the new year rolls around, right? But it's just to be healthier, and I want to share that journey on this channel. It won't be a big part of the channel. It'll probably be like 1 or 2 videos like at the 6 month and year mark, but I just wanted to share that journey and show like what you can accomplish in a year. And it's something that I've wanted to do for a while, and I'm saying it on this video to help hold me accountable. That's really the reason I'm mentioning it. So yeah, we'll see how that goes, and let's get into the stuff that I bought in December. So I have this Dawn card. I just really like the art, and it has Law Kid Luffy on it, and it's from a really iconic moment. I think it's when they fight Kaido, and it's like a couple bucks. I was like, I'll pick it up, and it kind of goes with a card that I also recently picked up, and I'll show you that later in the video. And then I picked up this Bart blocker. Bart's a cool character. I enjoy his character in the show. And you have like Zoro and Frankie in the background too. And it's from PRB01, which is a super expensive set. So I was like, I might as well just pick it up now while it's cheap and nobody's really looking at it. So I decided to snag one. I grabbed this Isho card because it's like $5. I really like the dark art, like the Gecko Moria from OP06. Like that card art is top tier in my opinion. And I'm also just a really big fan of Isho. I think his character's super cool. And yeah, I just wanted to snag one. Bad Manners Kit Course I grabbed because I'm not gonna say all decks run a zero cost event, but most of them will run one. And I think the event alt arts are super underrated. And I just keep picking them up, especially because this one's like all the zero costs from PRB02. Most of them are under $15, I think. So if I see another one, I think I picked this up for like $5. If I see another one around that price, I'm just gonna probably snap by it. And then I have this Hina card. I bought a bunch of these. They're $5, and I think black will eventually become a bigger part of the meta again. I don't know when that'll happen, but Hina was reprinted in PRB02, so it'll be good for, I believe, 2 more rotations. And I just like Sokka was dominant, Gecko was dominant for a little bit, and then Lucci was dominant for what, 2-3 sets. And all of those decks ran this card. Mine, like Lucci only ran like 1, but I just think like this card has a really good shot of being playable again. So this is more of an investment card, but I'll definitely keep one because the art's cool. Sokka I picked up because I don't own it. I don't think this leader will be played ever again. We'll see, but 4-life leaders just get cooked. But I like the art, and super iconic leader, like was so dominant in OP05 meta. But yeah, I just didn't own it, so I grabbed it. This Stussy card I'll talk a little bit about later too, but I just like the art. The person who did the artist who did the illustration boxes is the same artist. I think it's Peach Momoko. I think that's their name. But I really like I don't know what kind of style of art you would call it, but like I guess I'm calling it like watercolor style. There's probably a better term, but my ignorant self is just gonna call it that. And then I think this card could be playable again, but or could be playable in like Vegapunk, or even the new, maybe the new Luffy. I haven't read the text on that card, but we'll see. And then kind of the same thing what I discussed before. I just like the event cards. This one has was it the Shandian Warriors in them, and they're fighting against a nail, and I just think that art is cool. This is the card I mentioned earlier. I've wanted this card for a while, and I thought it was gonna drop, and it just never did. And I've never seen it in person. There's not that many listed, so I just kind of bit the bullet and decided to buy it. But I really like it because it has like the cruise in the background, and I've always liked art like that, and I think it's super popular. And I didn't want to regret buying this card. So I grabbed it before it was out of my reach. And then these are probably, or this is probably one of my favorite cards. I had two of these already, but I saw another YouTuber mention them in a video, and I knew as soon as he mentioned it, I knew they were gonna get bought out. So I kind of was just like, oh, I have to buy them now. And I'm so glad I did, because they were $75 when I picked these two up, and the next day they were $170. So I'm glad I kind of trusted my gut and grabbed them before that happened, because I really do like this card. And I wasn't good enough to win when I went to my event, so yeah, I'm looking forward to having these in my collection. And then I'll just go over these kind of together. I have the Ace coming too. It just didn't get here in time. But the Luffy is done by the Black Clover artist. And then the Sabo is done by, I believe it's Promised Neverland. And then the Ace is done by the Food Wars creator. And I just really like sets like this where it's like a couple cards, because they're easy to complete. And I like the Black Clover anime. I think Asta is such an annoying character, but the rest of the anime isn't too bad. And then if you're looking for a quick anime, Promised Neverland, the first season is really good, and then the second one's okay, but definitely worth watching at least once. But yeah. And then kind of like the last little thing that I have, I bought a bunch of these treasure pack campaign events. The manga events are super popular, and I was just like, I'll just snag them and sell them if they go up, and if not, I'm happy to keep them. But this is more of like an investment play. I don't want to necessarily be an investment channel, because I don't want to hype up cards and or make people FOMO into buying them. That's just not really my style. I buy things that I personally want to collect, and then if I can kind of make a little money on the side, then that's great. But I don't want to be one of those channels that is just like, buy this now. And then I'm not gonna say I won't do, but I don't want to do a lot of like market watch videos. There's just so many other creators that do them, and they do a great job. I just don't need to be another channel that does that, because of a lot of it's repeatable, right? Like they all go over the same stuff, minus like a card or two, and that's not really my thing, I guess. But I appreciate y'all watching the video, and I have a great time kind of recording them and doing them. And if y'all have any questions about kind of what cards I'm buying, I have no problem like discussing that, or like if you want my opinion, I'm happy to give it. But my advice is to collect things that you genuinely enjoy collecting, because that way, if the card price goes down, you're at least happy that you have the card. You know what I mean? So just a little tidbit of advice that I think people should follow and that I try to follow myself. But yeah, I appreciate y'all watching the video, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks.